Between NA and EU, Europe has won 6 World Championships to North America's 3. And in the modern era, NA and EU are now tied at 2 majors apiece thanks to NA's Gen G in Rotterdam. So there you go. EU, twice as many World Championships, and for most people, this is where their curious mind ends. But not for me though. You see, I want to know how both regions perform specifically against each other at international LANs. What's the win rate? Who had the worst performance? Who had the best? Be sure to stick around till the end where I fill you in on the all-time record between NA and EU. So let's start where it all began, the Season 1 RLCS World Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here. It is Championship Sunday for the RLCS International Final.
Season 1 is a great place to start because it's one of 2 LANs that included only NA and EU as participants. What's so interesting about this LAN is despite the consensus of EU being much stronger than NA, not only did Europe lose the first World Championship, NA actually split the total win rate 50-50. Europe and NA went 6-6 in series, but it's the breakdown of these wins that tells the story. EU had their wins dispersed between almost every team evenly, with each team getting 2 series wins against NA. The only team that didn't was Mockin. Compare this to NA and you could probably guess who led the charge. iBuyPower not only went undefeated at LAN, but put up 4 wins against EU, beating Flipside Tactics twice. The rest of NA only put up 2 wins between Genesis and Exodus. Kings of Urban, the eventual NRG, went winless.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Day 2. It is the final day of the Rocket League Championship Series Grand Finals for Season 2.
Season 2 is the start of the Dark Ages for North America. Not only do they start losing trophies, but still to this day, Season 2 is the worst performance NA has had against Europe in the RLCS. NA went 1-6 at the Season 2 World Championship against Europe. Take3 was the only team to beat a European representative, and it was against KDOP's Precision Z of all people.
Take3 keeps America alive!
Of course, the inverse is still true. Europe went 6-1 against NA teams and went on to not only win the World Championship, but to have the first all-European final. It took just 2 seasons for Europe to show their dominance, and it's the start of a regional dynasty for the next few seasons. Seasons 3 and 4 would continue with similar dominance from Europe. NA would start to recover from their Season 2 woes, but was still only winning 30-40% of their series against Europe. Season 3 featured a dominant 6-3 series score for Europe, and Season 4 wouldn't be much better for NA going 3-5. However, the skill gap slowly closes over the next few World Championships, and it isn't until Season 5 where we see that gap filled.
And he won't let up now. 4 seconds left.
We all know the story of Season 5. NRG versus Dignitas in the finals.
Justin keeps it alive.
Justin shot. We know. But the final series decided more than just who won the tournament. Before the final series started, EU was 4-5 against NA teams. Dignitas was in the losers bracket, and NRG beat Envy, Dignitas, and Complexity to make it to the finals. But as we all know, Dignitas had other plans for the finals. With the bracket reset and 2 series won in a row, EU finished 6-5 against NA, just edging out their counterparts in the grand finals. Season 5 marks the end of the Dark Ages for North America. The win rate gap that at one point was a 70% difference dropped to just a single series win. And this is where NA finally turns things around. In almost a reversal of the Season 5 World Championship, Season 6 would see NA triumph on the world stage for the first time in 5 seasons. And by series, it's a similar story. Cloud9 drops into the lower bracket, making a run all the way back to the Grand Finals, where they win 2 series in a row against the Dynasty Dignitas and give NA the better head-to-head. Final score, 5-4 in series in favor of North America, with Cloud9 contributing 4 out of those 5 wins, with half of them coming in the Grand Finals bracket reset. This is the first time NA outright wins the head-to-head against EU, 6 seasons into the league's existence. Enter Season 7. In the context of this video, this LAN was an anomaly. Season 7 would feature NA having 3 representatives in the top 4. Up until the semifinals, Europe mustered up a single win against North America. EU was swept by NA in groups. PSG, FC Barca, Triple Trouble all went winless against NA teams. It wasn't until the quarterfinals that EU got their first win against NA with Vitality over NRG. And if you're an NA fan, look away now. Vitality would go on to beat C9 and G2 in the championship. EU went 3-7, a measly 30% win rate against NA teams, but still came home with the trophy. Season 7 is still the only LAN to date where the winning region had under a 50% win rate against their regional counterpart. A quick note on Season 8, since it's the last of the League Play Era World Championship, NA would win another World Championship, but it would feature another split between NA and EU at a 5-5 record. Season 9 and RLCS X would not have international RLCS LANs, and it wouldn't be until fall 21-22 in the modern circuit-style format that we would see international competition again. Even with a finals appearance at the Fall Major in Sweden, North America would put up their lowest win rate since Season 4 at 5-8, or 38%, with FaZe grabbing 3 out of the 5 wins for NA. These 13 series were the most times EU and NA have faced off on a LAN in any RLCS competition, thanks to the Swiss format. Winter and spring of 21-22 would see NA and EU trade blows in the head-to-head matchups. Winter 21 showcased another NA LAN victory, just pulling ahead in the grand finals over Queso to make the series win rate 7-6, or 53% in favor of North America. Spring 22 starts to show a bit of a decline for North America. While EU continues to reach every grand final to date, Spring 22 is the first RLCS LAN to feature a MENA representative in the finals. Despite this, only a single series separated NA and EU at 5-4, with EU the better. It was MENA, who went 3-0 in spring, that crushed North America. 21-22 World Championship would have NA and EU face off 9 times, less than some of its majors, but generally on par with the championships that came before it. NA would reach the final against EU's BDS and be crushed.
One more!
As the definitive champion and better region, EU head-to-head against NA at the first World Championships in Season 8 would give them a blockbuster win rate of 67%, or 6-3 against NA. This is the highest win rate EU has had against NA since Season 3, where EU also went 6-3 against North America. At the making of this video, the 22-23 Fall Major is the most recent LAN in the RLCS, and as fate would have it, NA starts off the season with the win. But once again, NA wins the LAN, splitting the head-to-head 50-50 with Europe. 6-6 was the record between the two regions, and it's the third time they've split the head-to-head, and all 3 times North America has won the LAN. Kinda weird. Something to note is that Oxygen, the eventual top 8 finishers, got half of the wins for Europe. All 3 matchups for Oxygen in the Swiss stage were NA teams. Moist was next at 2 wins, and Carmine Corp got just a single win against NA's SSG. For NA, things were a bit more spread out. Space Station and G2 would walk away with 0 wins against Europe. Version 1, FaZe, and Gen G would all have 2 wins apiece, with of course the final being the equalizers between the regions. So where does this leave us? We know the trophy history, we now know the head-to-head history, but what does it all add up to? Out of the 132 times NA and EU have matched up, EU leads NA 72-60. That's an overall win rate of 54.55% through 6 years and 13 LANs in the RLCS. What's even closer is the overall game win percentage. EU holds a 51.75% win rate over NA all time. That's having 311 wins and 290 losses in 601 games. Bottom line, EU has been better than North America, plain and simple. But it's not as big of a margin as you might have thought. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
I feel my plate when I take my name, post won't survive, whoa. You see my face and around this shape, then listen where eyes, whoa. And that's been my pet peeve, I need